Hey everybody, I'm inking another page to my comic Occult Descent Volume 2, still live on Kickstarter until August 6th. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. It still hasn't reached its funding goal. Hopefully we could get that over and this comic will be able to see print. It will also have Volume 1 as a catch-up tier, so if you missed out on that, you'll be able to get that in this campaign. Uh, the camera is blurry. I keep forgetting because I'm doing this on my phone. I keep forgetting to lock the focus on this thing. I wanted to add a lot of shading on this, a lot of shadow. I think I was trying to keep that in mind anyway. I think I did pretty good for the first like that. I think just this panel because then like when it comes to shadows, I'll try to block them out and just keep them like that. But it's pretty tough for me not to add like some rendering, and then some rendering turns into a lot of rendering. And then like 15, 20 minutes go by, and I'm like, I should black all of this out. And sometimes I do. I think I did on this one towards the bottom of the page. I want to say that this whole page for inking took me 5.5 hours, kind of guesstimating there, because the I'm not really doing backgrounds. The backgrounds are just, the fog lines there or smoke lines. It's really supposed to be ash, like so. I guess smoke, yeah. Uh, okay, so I was just guessing. Yeah, it was maybe about 5.5 hours because my camera, it one, the battery ran out, and then two, or wait, no, I don't think the battery ran out on this one. It got low, but I stopped and started charging it. But I was working on something else just to so I could record more of this. But then I got the my phone said the storage was full, so I had to go back and delete some previous YouTube videos. Like I thought I already got rid of them, so like I was carrying around like 3 hours worth of videos in my on my phone, I guess. But and then let's see, I think something else happened. Uh, oh yeah, okay. So twice that happened for the camera storage being full. So I went back and deleted it, and then I started recording, and it like went for like 5 more minutes, and then I don't know how long it was because I didn't check the phone. Uh, Turns out like your phone could keep your deleted, like, and keeps it as recently deleted, so it won't like fully delete it. So I had to go in there and then delete all of that. So then I started recording again. Uh, it, so this one, I don't know. It seems like there's always something like that going on with these pages that I do, whether it's during the penciling or the inking stage. Uh, Also, I was looking at the fog lines in the background. And I looked at the previous page. I forgot to add them in one panel, so I'll have to go back and add those as well. I was looking at a. I guess I'll bring it up when I get to the next panel. I'm doing these one panel at a time. Sometimes uh, I find it easier for recording anyway, going one panel at a time. But if I'm not recording, I tend to like jump around the page quite a bit, just because it seems more, I would say, fun, and it keeps me more focused when I move things around. I feel anyway. Um, oh yeah, okay. So I, I wanted. I was trying to go back to this. So in total, the inking took about 5.5 hours. I lost, I'm guessing, 20, maybe 30 minutes when I wasn't paying attention that the phone storage was full. And anyway, so that's what I got recorded was just under 5 hours or just over 5 hours. Then I sped it up 7 times. So it's uh, 43 minutes. And yeah, that length of a video I think is fine. I mean, if it were me watching anyway. Um, Otherwise, that would be awesome if I could ink this fast. I was gonna say with these pens especially, I'm slow, but I've used pen nibs and brush a few times. I'm really slow with those as well. I was comparing it more like watching professional pinkers, uh, professional inkers when they're inking. Like they go. I would say it's kind of slow, but when they put down a line, it seems to go really fast. And then they do those practice like golf swings, above the paper before they put down a line. But when they do put down the line, it seems like bam, really fast, and then they got like a perfect thin to thick or thick to thin line that they want. Where when I'm doing this, I have to build it up with a pen, and I found myself doing that as well when I was using a brush and the pen nib. Not that I haven't tried going fast. I've tried going fast before, but I just end up going to whiteout because I'm uh, a beginner and at that kind of those kind of techniques, and I don't want to. I know it takes that's how you get better, practice at it. But I feel like I just want to make my comic right now. I don't want to have to like I don't know. That's where working on a computer would be good. Just undo button constantly if you're gonna practice, but can't really do that because the nib and the brush are physical. I don't know. I keep telling myself one day. And anyway, so this guy, he's there's I try to make that look like a jewel as much as possible. so it and I forgot to add a little effect around that. Yeah, I'm looking at the page now. I still didn't add an effect. It's like a little glowy effect to kind of make it look like that diamond turned into a I don't know if I would call that a spear or like a double-edged jewel sword. In any case, that's what it turns into. I remember pausing this recording a few times just because, to find like either music to listen to or a podcast. And, a 30-minute podcast is over before you know it when you're inking or drawing a page. I'm sure if you're an artist listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like half hour, 2 hours goes by like really quick, especially when you're in the zone. That's why I noticed because sometimes I was watching live streams when I'm inking or doing work, then like I would get pulled away from the page because I want to like comment. So I'd comment in the chat and then I go back to drawing. And then it was like, I don't know, sometimes I would forget. I would start at different spots of the drawing or inking because even when I'm drawing, I kind of bounce all around the page as well. And is like my focus, that the whole workflow just like went away. So I really gotta pay attention to like what I watch. So if it's a movie, it's always got to be something that I've seen before, and thankfully I've got a few of those. The comedies seem to be the ones that I'll watch over and over again. Uh, Podcasts are okay because I don't have to look at them, and music. So the only time is when the it's over and then you got to find another one. So I was listening to For this one, I think it was towards the end. I was listening to Todd McFarlane. He always seems to have like an interview that he does like every few months. I've seen a couple of them anyway that I thought were interesting because they came out. One came out like 3 months ago. No, there was three of them I watched. One came out 3 months ago. Another came out like a month ago, and then another one came out the well, I didn't watch it while I was inking this one. I was watching it during the penciling phase, but that one came out at the time. It was 2 days ago. Oh, 2 days ago or 2 weeks ago. It was really recent. I mean, those they're all pretty recent, and they're all on like channels with. Well, one of them I think had 1,200 or 2,200 views, but the other two they just had like a couple hundred views, which was weird. So I was like, "This is Todd McFarlane. Like, how does not like I don't know, at least a few thousand people watch these?" But he goes over like a lot of the same stuff in his interviews about like his work process, which is like really simple. It's like just get it done. It's like, well, if you're finding something that's getting in your way, just cut that part out and then get your work done. Which I was like, wow, that's incredibly simple. I'm not saying it's easy, but because sometimes it's like, oh man, I'm so bored. I want to watch something, so I'll like put on a movie. Of course, it's a movie I haven't seen before, so then I find I don't do as much work. And then I'm also half-assing watching the movie because like I'm trying to get work done too, and so both things or end up getting half-assed or prolonged longer than they need to be anyway for the drawing part. Uh, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then he also brought up how he basically never throws anything away. Like everything he draws, he ends up using. He doesn't. He didn't say he doesn't have sketchbooks, but I imagine he doesn't really have sketchbooks, not anymore anyway, because he was uh, the last one of the last videos I was watching. When he was talking about J. Scott Campbell, how he got him to draw some covers for She Spawn. Also, I forgot that J. Scott Campbell designed the She Spawn cover. I mean, well, the She Spawn the look she has right now, that was a Scott Campbell design. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that because he did that in issue 300 when they brought She Spawn back. And this time they brought her back as Jessica Priest, and I think it was Nyx was before that. But anyway, my Spawn lore kind of got mixed up, especially when they uh, what do they call that when they change things? Uh, it'll come to me probably after this done recording. But anyway, yeah, Chapel didn't kill Spawn anymore. It was I think it was Nyx killed him, and then they changed it again to Jessica Priest killing him. And like I said, I'm not sure about that because things got warped around in the Spawn story. And what was I saying about that? Okay, so J. Scott Campbell sent Todd McFarlane some sketches, and he was like, "Oh, these are amazing." And I'm pretty sure they said sketches like plural, but they only showed one. And he got when he got the cover though, when it was fully done, because sent them the sketch, Todd liked it. Then Scott Campbell, I don't like. Of course, J. Scott Campbell is J. Scott Campbell. He could do whatever he wants. So, but I was thinking like, if you send somebody sketches and then they okay them, like, why would you go outside of the work that got okayed? But he did, and he just like give him almost a whole nother picture, I guess, because in his mind he's like, well, if he liked that one, he's definitely gonna like these ones because he had some what he thought were better ideas. They probably were. I don't know. I forget what the covers looked like, but he ended up bringing the sketch back. He was kept talking to bothering J. Scott Campbell about it, and then he's like, "All right, yeah, let's do it." And then so they both inked the original sketch. There's one of McFarlane and one of J. Scott Campbell inking them. So they look a little different if you pay attention to them. So or put them together. But that's like one of the examples of Todd McFarlane saying he doesn't throw anything away. Everything he draws, he uses now, and for to him through his eyes, he was saying it like blows him away that other artists don't do that as well, especially when they're established already. Like he'll he'll see that they have sketches, like a lot of sketches of a cover or a page layout, and he's like they would draw it and like the pencils would be kind of tight at that point, and but they wouldn't use any of that, and it all looked good to him. He's like you could use it somewhere, and I'm guessing you don't, they all look good because they're established professionals, just maybe it's not up to like their level, but those covers could be used somewhere. They don't all have to be like grand slam covers that are homaged everywhere. That's what I'm guessing anyway, from Todd McFarlane's point of view. So he uses like everything, and there was one more point about that stood out to me. I'll probably think of it later. I don't know. Maybe I won't. uh, oh, and then okay. So back to this sketching. I don't really. I was kind of going cross-eyed trying to figure out how to do this fog. I ended up just uh, putting lines everywhere. I go in the comics and I was looking at how other people do fog and smoke stuff like that. They all seem to do it pretty similar, so it's like whatever. It doesn't. I mean, the comics I was looking at anyway. I know that there's some people that do fog much more different than this and more elaborate. But I just wanted to kind of show it looks like this sword, sword, double spear thing was being chucked at a Sakal and he's dodging it. And the speed lines for Sakal, I know that they look pretty terrible. I think I fixed that up in whiteout. No, I know I fixed it up in whiteout because I'm looking at the page right now, the finished page. I might tighten it up. I mean, I might. I'm pretty sure I will tighten it up in the when I scan it in and before I send it off to my colorist, Tanya Wicker, who's amazing by the way. She's on X. I don't know if you have an X. That's the only social media that I found her on anyway. Um, so now I'm okay. Yeah, there. I'm using the whiteout. I was using the big Posca pen, so I would put that down, and then I found out how to wait. Okay, now I'm using the little Posca pen as well. The big one though, that one takes a little while to dry, so I would like put it down and like work on something else for a little bit before I try to go back. If I was going back, like when I fixed those clouds back there for the trailing behind that double sword, I had to fix those a little bit. And anyway, the paint was still like too kind of, it wasn't quite wet, but it was still like movable, like rubbery and stuff. And these pens are really good for going on top of that, but it has has to be a little bit more solid than that. So yeah, the big pen takes a while to. It must be like a different kind of formula for the acrylics in the big markers compared to the little ones. I I say that because I'm assuming I don't know, but I went on the Micron website and I think it was the website I went on, and anyway they were saying how they have different like formulas for their India ink. I thought India ink was just India ink, but the microns as they get smaller, I guess they adjust the formula for it, So like the point zero 0.05 and point zero 0.03s are different from the, you know, point 0.3s or point 0.4s, the bigger ones. So I'm just assuming that they probably do that for acrylic paint markers. Probably ballpoint pens too. I don't know. I never really thought and given much thought. These are the guys that are. I think I'll have to draw another one of these guys in the one of the previous panel, not this one, but the one before. Anyway, the panel. Let's see. I'm looking panel 4. I think I'll have to draw at least one more of these guys in panel 4 just to make it look like, because that guy holding the handgun, he's supposed to be the one that threw the spear. And uh, I think I'd be able to, like, if before you add word balloons, you should be able to understand the story on the page. I think it would be easier to figure out if I added another person on panel 4 anyway, so that they know that there's more people. It's not just that one guy. Okay, so here a little this was annoying. I figured I would show what I was drawing or what I was inking, because I really liked how this looked. I wanted the last two panels to kind of go into each other. And this one I wanted like a downward shot because I didn't want to have just all straight on shots. And I know I had a downward shot of him, but he was like, Sakal was running away from the weapon that was being thrown at him. So I wanted a downward shot of him attacking somebody, and then he's like kind of going up and over into the next panel to make it, like really dynamic. And I thought the blood looked cool on his arm, all that. However, okay, so I mean, some of you probably already caught on that his arm missing is the the arm, the wrong arm. I, I got his arms mixed up because I was looking. I think I did it because I was looking on the first panel. I was looking at him straight on, and then when I got to the panel where he's running away from in the clouds, there, we're looking at his back. So I had to change it. So I had to keep that in mind, and it looks. I don't know. So that got confusing to me. I was like, okay, so which arm is missing? Looking at the front, then look at the back, and then now we're looking at the front again, and I added the wrong arm. So that happens to me quite a bit. It's like really annoying. So I could understand that happens to Liefeld, and I'm sure he notices it too. But at least some of the times, I'm sure he notices. But I have a feeling he's just like, well, I'll try to remember next time. So when he has like a sword in the guy's hand or on his back, and then suddenly the sword is gone completely, I could understand that. Seems I could let all that stuff pass, especially the more that this keeps happening to me. Um, However, though, no, I correct it. At some point here, I realize it. I think it's when I'm erasing. When I get like halfway done with the next panel and I'm starting to erase the pencils, is when I notice, and I'm like really upset because I don't want to. I like this. I like these two panels, and I didn't want to redraw them. And I was trying to think too, like maybe I could digitally, reverse them, but I wanted that hand, Sakal's hand, to go into over the next panel, to for that overlap. That was the purpose of it, but that did not. I don't know. I couldn't make it work anyway, because then both these guys would be facing towards the left, and the story flow would be a little weird. Like maybe like I feel like the a casual reader would like look at it and they would know something's off, but they wouldn't, maybe they wouldn't be able to pinpoint it, or maybe they would. In both cases, I was like, yeah, it's just not going to work. So I end up getting an X-Acto knife and cutting across those lines and then adding another one in. The next one that I add in, I think works and all, but it's, I don't, I think it's pretty good. It's just I also really like this one, especially that like I was saying, I was studying how John Malin does splatters. I I don't think I do it exactly like how he does, but I give it my best effort, and I like the result anyway. Um, Also, so I had to stop the video because there was a really loud motorcycle that was coming by. But I did remember that other Todd thing I was gonna mention. Todd McFarlane was talking about this one artist came to his house. I forget the artist's name, but he said that the pencils were really good and like really they were really tight too. And he goes, "They're probably some of the best pencils I've ever seen." Then he asked the guy, "Who's going to ink those?" And he said, "I am." And then Todd McFarlane was like, then like this look of horror came over my face because he's like, you penciled that tight, and then you're gonna go back in and draw it again." So I thought that was funny because he said his process was he had to get, he was a monthly guy, and so he had to get the comic books done. He understands why that this other artist wasn't a monthly guy after he told him that, because McFarlane, he pencils and then I guess he said it looked super loose, and he was showing the guy his pencils, and he said that that artist had the same look of horror on his face when he looked at the pencils. He's like, these things are atrocious. Like, and, and then he's like, Todd McFarlane was saying, yeah, I find the drawing in the inks because I got to put these out. And I was kind of thinking about that when I was looking at his Spider-Man work, but also I'm pretty sure for his Spider-Man work there was like a few months there where he was doing two comics at the same time. He said it must have been like the early comic work because I think he was saying he was working on Infinity or Invasion. Um, some anyway. Then while he was doing the Spider-Man, so he was doing two books at the same time. Uh, but I was looking at his Spider-Man work, and there's like a few panels here and there where you see the hands, and the hands just like I don't even know how to describe it. They just look like little kid hands or something on adult bodies, and or sometimes they're just like really contorted looking. Like wow, that just looks like a little pile of Play-Doh or something scribbled out. So like when he was looking at it, he's like, I gotta get them done. So do it. It's like, oh well, this one doesn't look all that great, but I have to send the page in, which would make sense because he said he was doing a page a day, but he would take the weekends off. No, I think he said he would do a page a day. He might have said weekends off. I don't remember that part, but I do remember him saying he was like, if I had a prayer, it would be page a day, page a day. Even if it was a fast page and it took him like only 2 hours, he said a page a day, and then I'll take the rest of the day off. Maybe that was it. Take the rest of the day off, not the weekends. But it's like whether it takes 12 hours or 2 hours, just do a page a day. Um, but yeah, sometimes I don't know because then I look at his earlier work, like the Hulk work, and I'm pretty sure he was inking himself on a lot of that as well. But looking at the hands anyway, the hands like they all look great to me. I mean, if there are, it's like of just a few panels. However, looking at the Spider-Man, especially like the normal people's hands, not Spider-Man. Probably because he didn't pay attention to them as much, maybe. But yeah, so the Spider-Man work came after Hulk, and the hands weren't like it was easier to spot the hands like more. They kept happening, not as what's the opposite of rare, more frequent. Yeah, the kind of absurd hands were coming happening more frequently. So anyway, I know he can draw hands, but sometimes when you hands aren't easy to draw. I'm sure anybody that's drawn hands that's listening to this knows that. Oh, and here's where I start to realize. I think I'm realizing it now. Is like, okay, and then while I'm thinking about how I could save this, I'm kind of still working on it. But pretty soon here, once I start erasing, this when the video cuts, and then I cut out the page because I just can't think of a way to save this. So I mean, I still had I cut it out. I mean, this is physical, so maybe I could use these panels later or for something else, like how Todd McFarlane says he does. So yeah, I guess these will just be in my back pocket for something, maybe a rainy day. And anyway, yeah, there I'm showing the page of like the new panels that I'm putting in. I got this idea. I was gonna say I stole, but it's totally different. I got the idea from Chainsaw Man doing this. I mean, I guess I stole the concept where there was a couple of panels. It was a double page spread actually, and Chainsaw Man, but they're pretty tiny, so basically look like panels to me. The manga sized books, but the idea was where Chainsaw Man he like just changes into the chainsaw chainsaw monster, and he like jumps at this big head monster floaty thing. I think it has arms and tentacles on it and stuff. But anyway, the monster thing is like, whoa, it's a demon, and because the monster thing was like original. Anyway, the panel, uh, Chainsaw Man stabs through this big head monster thing, and then it like goes into the next panel, like the chainsaw does, and it's also like cutting. Looks like it's cutting underneath the monster, like cutting its tentacles off. So it was a double page spread, kind of, but the pages were different. Like, so that's where I got the idea from this one. He's stabbing through, or he's punching through this guy and taking out his heart, and then he's also with the next panel. So for him, he doesn't change, but the next panel, it's like a completely different action of it's an action of attack, but it's from a different point in time where he's flaying open that his uh, these are vampires. They're all vampires. Sakal is a mutant vampire, and then these guys are like normal vampires. So that's where I got the idea. I thought it was pretty cool. And instead of going with a down shot, because I couldn't think of a cool way to have this as like a down shot, the reason why I went with the down shot for the other one was because he was like coming up at the camera. Where this one, it's not really any foreshortening, which that's the only bummer about it. But I wanted to, I also wanted to get through these pretty quick because I was frustrated that I even had to redraw all this stuff again. So, oh, and then yeah, the you might have noticed there was a jump in the cam. That's when I noticed the camera was full and I wasn't paying attention. So, and no, that's also where I was adding a lot of rendering for his stomach area. Like I didn't need to do that. I could have just blacked a lot of that out, and I might even go in and, and black more of it out. But at the time, I thought that, yeah, that's fine. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. I, that's the thing with these things. Sometimes I'll come back to them like a day or two later and just black them out anyway. Um, my colorist is a few pages behind me now. She's not like right on my heels, so I got time to do these corrections. And yeah, so I forgot to add his leg there, and that's where I was also kind of trying to keep in mind, like, well, just draw on the page. I mean, even if I mess up, of course, I got whiteout. I use whiteout every page I've done so far. I've used it, but like I don't want to. Um, However, yeah, I try to get more used to the idea of like finding the drawing in the inks. Sometimes I feel pretty confident about it, like, oh yeah, it's no problem. Other times it's like I should draw this with a pencil first, and then yeah, figure out the details. Not that either way is wrong or anything, but I just want to be more efficient with my time. Another thing that I was wrestling with and still am, and might change it, is the amount of blood splatter that I give on Sakal's hand there. Like his arm is going in the previous panel there, his arm's going right through the one vampire. So it's like I think like I should add more blood splatter going like farther up his, in fact, all the way up his forearm, to make it look like, see his, yeah, that's because his arm is going through that first guy. But then I was thinking, like, I don't want to add that much blood splatter because then it'll look more like paying attention to that previous panel, like pull the reader away, and then they're like a little thrown off that they don't see the rest of the guy's body either, but his arm is still full of blood, like it is going through his body. And I mean, like it's still a continuation, so it should be more like, I don't know. That was really confusing me with those, but now that I've said it out loud like that, I think I will I will add is that much blood, because it kind of it's slightly jarring, because that's how it was with the Chainsaw Man as well. It took me a second to figure it out, but I still thought it looked cool. I was like, man, that's awesome. Like, and in another way too, I guess, yeah, like I said, thinking all this stuff out loud is it caused me to stop and then like really study the page like a lot more, and took more time with it to figure things out. But I was also like, because it looked cool, I didn't mind it. Like it didn't take me out of the story. So hopefully that's what I can achieve by uh, combining these two panels like that. The Yeah, I always save these guns for almost last, basically, because I don't like getting out this ruler and then drawing them, because I do try to draw them slightly foreshortened, which maybe I shouldn't, but I keep that in mind. Like, oh, I should make this side slightly smaller than this side. Um, yeah, come to think of it, maybe I could have even did it more extreme, like, and just had it really. But then, yeah, that would probably add a little too much focus on the gun itself. Anyway, these are all like things I guess I'll keep learning as I'm going along with this. Like maybe it would make it more, the panel more dynamic, if I make the gun foreshortened towards the camera a lot more. Uh, Also, when I was looking at this piece too, I was like, man, it's he's not, his chest area is well above where Sakal is opened this guy up at. I'm trying to draw some ribs there. So yeah, you gotta, to kill a vampire, you gotta take their heart out, and so Sakal does that with the first guy, but this second guy he didn't. And then I was also, I've noticed that before on a I think at least one other person that Sakal attacked. So then I was uh, in the script anyway that I wrote for this. He took both of these guys out. However, now I'm gonna have to kind of adjust this or make up for it in another panel because that vampire is gonna it's gonna heal up. He's not gonna and he's gonna still be alive. Um, or maybe I'll just and that'll be something for the next part of the story because yeah, he doesn't take out the whole team in the script anyway. So why not just have like an extra member or two? Maybe they won't even know. I don't know. I don't want to just develop story concepts like while I'm. It would all just be spitballing anyway. I didn't know that I was off camera for a lot of this, and also I normally do this part. Like I'll put out all the panels before before I even start drawing in them or inking in them, which was weird. I didn't do it for this one. Um, I use a point, no, a 1.2 Stellar. I would have used the Master's Touch markers, but the highest that they went up was a 1.0, not a 1.2. I just like how thick the lines are for the panel borders, and I got these quarters taped under. I noticed I see like a lot of people tape pennies underneath their rulers for or straight edges. I didn't have any pennies at the time, so I mean I've come across pennies many times since then, but at the time I only had quarters, so it's like whatever. They're already taped under there. I'll keep them there. All right, and then this is the part of the page process where I'm just kind of noticing little things here and there, and I kind of the inking goes much slower because I look at it more, and then I'll normally I would take a picture with my phone as well, and look at it backwards again, and just kind of keep studying each panel to see little things that might stand out, little things that I could still correct. There are, I mean, just like I said on previous pages, there are little spots that I still want to correct looking at the full page. Add a little thing here and there, not too much. I'll probably add another person on that panel for just little effect lines maybe. Looks like this is the end of the video. I'll leave a link to the Kickstarter in the description. Take it easy, everybody.